Welcome to the Rise of Cryptocurrency show. Today I welcome Randy Pratt to the show. Randy founded the RealCryptocom and has a large YouTube channel. In recent days we've seen and we've been learning that the Rockefeller family, along with the Rothschild family and Hungarian billionaire George Soros, are all beginning to make seed investments into ventures that are either cryptocurrency related or blockchain related. And this is in complete contrast to a comment made by Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan Chase, a Rockefeller-controlled bank, regarding BTC being a fraud, and in stark contrast to statements made by Soros himself at Davos just a few weeks ago, saying digital assets are meaningless to him. Randy, I'd love to talk about this as well as many other projects and topics on today's show. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm very well. I'm enjoying Costa Rica right now and headed to Mexico from here. I know you're also in a desert area and enjoying yourself. Let's begin with this subject. Are we at a point where cryptocurrencies are definitely here to stay as lawful financial instruments, or is there a possibility in your mind that outlawing them still exists?
Well, I think right now we're definitely at the point where cryptocurrencies are here to stay. Whether they stay in their current form is a different issue. Now, I think Bitcoin is here to stay. Cryptocurrencies isn't just Bitcoin. There's 1,500 other altcoins out there, but Bitcoin is the quintessential cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin's here to stay. Some of the other altcoins are going to come and go, but the whole concept of cryptocurrencies, I don't think there's been any other technology in history, from the wheel, maybe fire in the wheel, but nothing else that has really taken grip on society as fast as cryptocurrency has. And part of it is just due to the meteoric rise in terms of prices and the wealth creation that cryptocurrency is sparking right now. But I think a lot of people at a deeper level feel that ultimately our society will benefit from what cryptocurrency brings in terms of security, transparency, and that, we see societies globally, and we have throughout human history, that don't trust governments and don't trust governments and people in power in general. And I think cryptocurrencies are going to be that way where we can, bring the trust back to the layman man, and where we can, have a better society. And the currencies being part of that, I think is a benefit to us now. But I think the blockchain generally is the benefit to mankind. And I think that is what makes it, that's what solidifies it, and I think you will see some government throwback. You've already seen some governments try to ban it. You've seen other governments start to embrace it, whether for nefarious reasons or otherwise, but everyone's jumping on cryptocurrencies. So they're here to stay. And, I don't think you can outlaw them. I think, we're going to have scams in the industry, like, we saw with BitConnect, and we're going to have other things that work really well, like we're seeing with Ethereum and Bitcoin, in terms of, we can get to discussions, on Ethereum's problems, but from a technological perspective, it's here to stay. It's here to stay, and Bitcoin's here to stay. The other ones, I don't know, but I know Bitcoin's here to stay.
Now, let's talk about innovations in this sector. What are the top two newest ideas that excite you?
I don't have a lot of new ideas that are exciting. When you think about these blockchain technologies, they are fairly complex. You're trying to, distribute information between thousands, maybe millions of nodes. So the innovation, I think, is the blockchain. In the blockchain sector, the most recent innovation, I think, is what ADA is trying to do in terms of, proof of stake versus proof of work. I think there is a problem inherent with Bitcoin in terms of its electricity usage going on. The last Bitcoin is said to be mined in, I think it's 2040. I think it's 2040 or 2140. I'm sorry. And the amount of electricity it's going to take us to get from now to 2140 is ridiculous. It will literally take the entire global electricity supply. So something's going to have to happen. And I think ADA, they're not the first one to come up with proof of stake, but they're one of the larger ones that are doing proof of stake. I know Ethereum is kind of working on a hybrid model, but I think the proof of stake is going to be the most interesting innovation when they finally work the kinks out of that. But these these blockchain concepts, they're going to take a long time to develop. And so, the same ideas that everyone's known about for the past, 3-4 months, those are the ones that are probably going to take us forward. Now, most recently, I haven't heard of too many things that excite me, to be quite frank with you, but the blockchain is really the biggest innovation.
Definitely. In terms of trading, in terms of investing, what is the process that you go through in order to find the most interesting opportunities?
That's a good question with a potentially very long answer. So at my website, real-crypto.com, and even on my YouTube channel, we talk a lot about technical analysis, and I'm a huge believer in technical analysis. There are some people that aren't. I think that's just because they haven't been introduced properly to it. And mainly how I go about analyzing these investments is I look for overall buying of the coin. So, my process is I will actually go through the movers of the day, up or down. I'll go through the movers of the day. I'll kind of look around the crypto space, and I'll look for these coins that have certain patterns in the volume and the price. And then based off of that action, I try to see, are they a good coin? Are they a very small altcoin? Are they a recent ICO? So there's a lot of things that go into that process. Now, the most interesting opportunities are the most recent ICOs. And today we're seeing that with coins such as ONT and WAN. Those are two ticker symbols that are actually moving most recently. The reason why those are interesting is because they're recent ICOs. So as you know, we've had this big drawdown from 20,000 back in December, and now it's April, and we're down towards, what is it, like 6,000 today, something like that? Yeah, $6,800. So there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of baggage that goes along with some of these larger altcoins like Ethereum, Litecoin, ADA, XLM, and you're seeing a lack of movement in those coins, and people are moving to these new ICOs like WAN and ONT that don't have any baggage from the last bull run and subsequent breakdown. And so I think finding those good quality newer ICOs are the most interesting opportunities in the market right now. And some of them are actually moving counter to Bitcoin. Like ONT was recently rallying when Bitcoin was falling. And that's only due to the fact that they don't have that prior baggage from a price perspective. And those are the things that I look for. I try to look for things that are outperforming. I try to look for things that have good volume, good price patterns, and all those things tell me the sentiment of those coins and the overall market. That's basically how I do my thing.
Interesting. What are the best ways, or some of the best ways, to get exposure to the growth in Bitcoin technology without directly owning a cryptocurrency project or a coin, a token?
Without owning a coin, that's an interesting question. I see how people could be looking to reduce their volatility in their portfolio, and they could view cryptocurrencies as volatile, which they are a little bit. But if you think about the stock market, we've had some cryptocurrency projects that have, certain stocks that are public that trade on the NYSE and such. Like Overstock is a great example, right? They had a big pop on the fact that they were going to do their own this and that and the other thing. But they recently got hit because they're being looked at for their ICO. So I don't know if you can remove yourself from volatility in the cryptocurrency space. I think if you want to be involved, but you don't want to be as volatile, to be honest with you, I think you understand how the market cycles work, and you get involved at a point where the downtrend is over and we have a lot more upside. Like right now in the cryptocurrency space, we're at $6,800. We came down from 20,000. There's analysis out there that leads us down to Bitcoin price around $3,000. So there is some more volatility on the table for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And the same is going to go with those stocks. If you want to have exposure, but don't want to buy cryptos and you want to buy stocks because you view it as somehow safer, I think that's a misnomer. And I think you're going to underperform if you try to stay out of that volatility. What I believe is the correct way to do it is to understand how the market works. Even on a higher level, you don't have to you don't have to understand every chart pattern, but I think you should understand the accumulation and the distribution cycles of the market. And not to plug myself, but I have a market cycles webinar that literally talks about this because I think it's important. I think it's important that you educate yourself that markets go up and they go down, and then they can go back up again. So to reduce that volatility, you do have to own a cryptocurrency project to get the gains. But I think you have to, so I guess in a roundabout way, you have to educate yourself, but you have to own a cryptocurrency project. I don't think there's another way to gain good exposure.
Interesting. So what are you of the opinion that this is a long-lasting bear market, or do you think that the sentiment can flip to bullish very quickly?
So I get that question quite often on my YouTube channel, and I have several videos about this. And the problem is I have a lot of videos on my channel. There's a lot of content out there, and some people don't find that content. I've done a lot of analysis between all the prior bear markets in Bitcoin and what we're going through currently. And what we're going through currently, my analysis leads me to the fact that we're going to bottom towards late May, maybe June, and then we'll be back above 20,000 or near 20,000 towards the first quarter of 2019. So I think we're going to go down a little bit more, and then we're going to go through kind of a sideways trading range, okay? And then we're going to flip bullish. So it won't flip very quickly. And I talk about this in my Market Cycles webinar. The markets don't work that way, all right? When we were initially going up from, 1,000 or, 250 Bitcoin up to 20,000, it was a series of higher lows and higher highs, and we were working our way up. We did have, longer periods of corrections, and those are healthy in a bull market. This is the opposite of that. This is a bear market. This continues until it exhausts itself. And that exhaustion really comes at the expense of the general public retail investor. All right. It's going to come at the expense of their coins, of their patience, of their money. And eventually when they finally sell all their coins, when everyone has had enough with, basically they have to get really bored and really sick of their large losses. And then they sell out. And then we go into this kind of malaise period. And this happens. This happens time and time and time again. This isn't specific to cryptocurrency. This has happened in oil, gold, general currencies. This has happened in stock markets. This happens in every market. You have a huge run up and then a big bear market, which washes all of those sellers out, or those buyers out, turns them into sellers. And then you have the time when the people that have been patient and waiting get involved. And then you have the next bull run, and the cycle repeats itself. And right now we're in that bearish cycle, and it's going to take time for that to wear out. It doesn't flip on a dime. We're not going to go right down to 3,000, then right up to 10,000. That's not going to happen. It's going to take many, many months of price action for all this to happen. Because keep in mind, there's millions of people trading these markets, and believe it or not, there are people trade the markets. Even if you write a script or a bot, there's a lot of people think algo trading is the death of us, blah blah blah. But the point is that people trade the markets, and it's our psychological reasons why we're in it and why we get out. It's that herd psychology, which leads you to the fact that it takes time for these markets to wear out. Okay, and then when they wear out, that's when you get the next curl up, and then we'll end up probably with another huge parabolic move.
Now, Randy, what will make the average person, or what will make more people adapt cryptocurrencies over fiat currencies? Obviously, we've seen many adaptations from people, from cash to credit cards, many changes that have happened over the 20th and 21st century with regards to how people exchange value. What will be the catalyst that will make cryptocurrencies obviously more popular with businesses, small businesses, large businesses, and just with people in general? When will people start voting with their wallets?
That's a great question, and there's a lot of people trying to answer that question, because when that starts to happen is really when cryptocurrencies are going to, take off's not the word, because we're going to have huge market gains before that even occurs. You're seeing a lot of things like LightPay came out, and there was issues with that. We see all these credit card like 10x, right? Pay, these credit card instruments that you can use things conveniently. And here's the weird dichotomy with cryptocurrencies. Humans make decisions based on convenience. Pretty much, especially from a herd mentality, we make all of our decisions based on convenience. There's nothing about our lives that we choose to make our lives less convenient. So unless someone can develop a way to make cryptocurrencies just as convenient, if not more convenient than a credit card or a debit card, we're probably not going to see a mass adoption. And probably one of the companies that could do that best would be something like Alibaba or Amazon, the large retailers, right? Something that we transact a lot with. They're going to have to figure out a way, and they're probably working on this, because if they can become, the bellwether for this, then I think it behooves their bottom line. But we're going to have to see an Amazon or a Target or a Home Depot or a Walmart, one of these really, really large companies, make this easy. They're going to have to make it easy. And right now it's not easy. Cryptocurrency right now is not easy. Not only from the fact that you don't know what your money's worth from 1 second to the next, you don't even know how to transact, and buy a hamburger at Wendy's or McDonald's or something like that. And that's the fundamental thing that's going to have to change. And in the end, it's that convenience that's going to make everyone move over. Now, here's the thing. We talk about cryptocurrencies, right? Bitcoin came out with the white paper, and, it was supposed to be a currency, and everyone's supposed to transact in Bitcoin. Maybe we don't transact in cryptocurrencies, for a long time. Maybe cryptocurrency, like I said earlier, maybe overall the main benefit here is the blockchain, and the currencies are literally just used within crypto space. And then maybe Bitcoin is our way out. So maybe instead of having, 1,500 currencies that you could maybe spend, because when you look at the cryptocurrency ecosystem, there's a lot of projects that are saying, okay, like Omisego, they went into McDonald's, you're going to use me for this, and this currency wants, them to, this currency wants you to use them for that, and this currency, it's too fragmented. It's way too fragmented. So no one's going to use any of these currencies on any kind of scale, at least for the foreseeable future. Bitcoin and Litecoin are probably the two. Those are the two that have the best chance. Now, Litecoin is more performant right now, but Bitcoin has the notoriety. So I know that, they're doing the Lightning Network, trying to make things a little more easily movable between Bitcoin and Litecoin. So maybe in that way, they'll be able to transact better, but it'll probably be Litecoin. But they have to make it really super simple. And then the other way about that too is if we always get paid in fiat currency, you're always going to have to convert it. And again, that leads to the convenience factor. So unless there's an easy way to make that conversion, maybe banks say, how much of your, paycheck do you want to convert to crypto, right? So that would be convenient if you could go to Wells Fargo, Bank of America, the large banks, and convert them to crypto, and then you have a crypto wallet that you use in line with your debit card. So it's going to have to be convenience, and how that unfolds really is an untold story right now. Those are a couple scenarios, like a big retailer getting in, the big banks getting involved. Someone's going to have to give 1 billion people a way to use cryptocurrency in an instant. And that's how it's going to happen. Until then, it's just going to be a fragmented techie market sector.
Now, Randy, with wealthresearchgroup.com/rocket, we created a wide array of reports that are regarding blockchain and cryptocurrencies, what people should make sure to avoid, and how they can get started in the right way. I know your website is built on education as well. What exactly do you do with the RealCrypto.com?
So yeah, it's real-crypto.com. There's a dash in between real crypto. It's not a word. It's just the symbol. Real-crypto.com. What I do there is educate investors. It's an education ecosystem. I have a Slack chat room that you can get involved with for free. So you can get involved in that. I have 2 webinars right now, and only 2. I have, the market cycles webinar, which I think is imperative for anyone investing. Even if you don't take the webinar, just go learn about market cycles. Even if you don't want to spend it's $22. If you don't want to spend that money, go spend time learning about market cycles. It's extremely important. And then I also have a webinar most recently about how to buy the Bitcoin bottom, because we're coming up to a big event and my community is always talking about when's the bottom, how do we buy the bottom. So I did a webinar on how to buy the Bitcoin bottom in real time. So, I do education. That's what I do. I try to teach people how to be the best traders that they can be. I don't try to bring you to my particular trading style or my system, because my system may not work for you. Lior, you and me, we have investments, but I can guarantee you we came about them from different perspectives, and that's perfectly fine. And if you're a little unsure about how to invest in the cryptocurrency space, but you want to do it, you're like, hey, I want to invest some for long term, some for short term, and I want to trade. I want to help you achieve that goal. Okay, I don't want to teach you to be me. I want to teach you to be you. All right, and that's what Real Crypto is all about. And to that note, like I said, we have the webinars. I have the free Slack chat room, and then outside of that, right now, I'm working on my trading courses. But in lieu of that, I'm doing a power hour where 1 hour every single day, 7 days a week. We talk about whatever the community wants to talk about. We talk about the leading coins. We talk about what Bitcoin's doing. We talk about strategies. We did a talk yesterday about high quality setups and how to hold for a long-term trade, right? Like how to get involved in a high quality chart pattern at the right point in the market cycle so you can hold for the bigger Bitcoin push. So it's not just about trading in the, every 15 minutes and doing 2,000 trades a year. It's also about trading correctly for how you want to trade. If you want to buy Bitcoin for a long-term hold, we can teach you how to do that. And that's what we do.
Hey, Randy, thank you very much for coming on the show. We'll have all the links down below, and we'll definitely have you back on again in early June to see where you're standing as it comes to Bitcoin.
Well, cool, Lior. Thanks for having me. Hope you enjoyed Costa Rica and have fun in Mexico.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Bye, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.